Hey everyone, welcome back to Azuria Plays. My name is AJ, and today we're diving back into the Galar region to continue our quest to become Galar's newest Pokemon champion. Last time, we ventured through the wild area, where we managed to expand the roster, battle our way through Route 6 in the pitch black, and take down the 4th gym leader to earn ourselves the Ghost Badge. If you haven't seen last week's episode, the link to the playlist is linked down in the description below. Last time, we were left with a cliffhanger, as there was a loud crash at the Stow-on-Side monument, and the revive-loving Sonia wanted us to go check it out with her. So to kick things off this week, we charge up the ramp, but as we run past Sonia, I see a small sparkle behind her. A max revive. What a coincidence. I'm watching you, Sonia. When we reach the top of the hill, the also lovable Bede is trying to smash up some poor child's drugs, and is blackmailing the chairman Skoparaja into doing all his dirty work for him. For some reason, he's convinced there's a wishing star behind the rock, and he's determined to get them. Seems a little far-fetched to me, but, as usual, it falls to us to restore order to the land, and we engage in battle with Bede once again. Bede starts off with his duos, and we send out Snapper, waste no time in chomping down his foe. Once again, luck appears to be on our side as we score a flinch, despite throwing a super potion at his weakened Pokemon. One more bite from Snapper leaves the Cell Pokemon unable to battle. Bede then sends out the adorable Hatchrim, who's almost too cute to hurt. Almost. Snapper lunges forward and takes a bite out of the serene Pokemon's health, leaving her severely weakened. Bede then tells us his Pokemon's move is simply splendid before she launches a Psybeam at us. I feel like everyone just loves to remind us about Joltik's untimely death. Snapper is clearly having none of it, as one final bite robs Hatchrim of her remaining HP, leaving Bede with only 2. Out comes Gothorita, and Snapper goes the tried and tested bite, chipping away just over half the Gothic Pokemon's health, before she counters with some fake tears, lowering her Pokemon's special defense. Undeterred, Snapper snaps at the opponent once more, knocking her out of the battle. Bede then sends out his Ponyta, and after taking a fake tears, I doubt Snapper will be able to survive a direct assault. So he returns to his Pokeball to allow Jalhala to dish out the hurt. Ponyta fires off a Psybeam, and Jalhala manages to tank the hit with relative ease. Ponyta and Jalhala then trade Psybeams and bites, until the unique Horn Pokemon falls to the power of darkness, and Jalhala stands victorious over his prey. With Bede beaten, the chairman and Alina turn up to put an end to the commotion. Upon realising what Bede has done, the chairman gives him the "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed" talk, before he disqualifies him from the gym challenge and takes possession of any wishing stars he had collected up until this point. The chairman apologises to us, and Sonia lets us know that Bede had a troubled past and that she feels sorry for him. She then says she hopes the mural has survived, and surprise surprise, the very mention of surviving causes the mural to crumble right there and then, and suddenly the reason for Bede's obsession with the wall becomes painfully obvious. That reason being because the plot needed the wall to fall. After the dust settles, and Sonia somehow manages to avoid any injuries from the falling debris, an ancient statue is revealed, depicting 2 heroes in the back and 2 wolf-like Pokemon in front, one wielding a sword and the other a shield. This further complicates the mystery of the Galar region, and now we have gone from having 2 heroes to having 4, 2 humans and 2 Pokemon. Sonia then wonders why these ruins were hidden when they match the tapestries we saw in the vault, and comments that we have made a huge discovery. As a reward for our efforts, not that we did much, she wants to give us 2 of something, and I really hope she isn't going to give us revives. I used to like you, Sonia. Why must you do this? After that utter disrespect, I sprint down the hill and make for the Glimwood Tangle, where we can add a new member to the team. Despite once again nearly killing the wild Pokemon, we manage to catch our Oranguru in an Ultra Ball and swap it for a new egg. While hatching it, we observe this Bronzong trying to eat a small child, and we should probably do something to intervene, but as our egg begins to hatch, it looks like we've got better things to do. We named the newly hatched mural Dooku after the Great Dooku tree. As we battle our way through the Glimwood Tangle, we come across these two trainers. One of them has come to gather for a good ride in the trains, and wonders if meeting this gentleman will change her life. They start off the battle with a Ninetales and a Curlia, as we unfortunately start off with Elsa and Snapper. Not wanting to take a fire blast to the face, Elsa quickly retreats to her Pokeball as Ravio takes her place on the field. That was just as well, as Ninetales tries to incinerate her tiny ice cream, but Ravio is fortunately able to tank the hit well. Snapper counters by trapping Ninetales under a pile of rubble, taking him down to a sliver while dropping his speed stat. Curlia then attacks Ravio with a Psybeam that would definitely have finished off Elsa if the Incinerate hadn't done the trick. Thank goodness we switched out. On the following turn, Ravio protects himself as Ninetale launches a quick attack to try bypass her lower speed stat. This allows Snapper to launch a counter attack, sealing Ninetale's fate and leaving him entombed in rocks forevermore. Curlia then tries to use her Life Dew to heal up her nine-tailed friend, but doesn't quite manage to make it in time to save him. We then recall Ravio, as we don't want to risk another death, and Jalhala takes centre stage once more. Snapper fires wide with his Rock Tomb, as Curlia hits Jalhala square on with a Psybeam that leaves the greedy squirrel Pokemon dazed and confused. One final Rock Tomb from Snapper allows Curlia to join her beloved Ninetales in his Tomb of Rocks. A good way to forget the trouble of this loss would be to ride the train. Yeah, I think I'll leave them both to it. We arrive in the picturesque town of Ballinlee, where we can challenge the Fairy Gym, but before we do that, I think a few of our team members could do with a level or two. I flip between the Tangle and the Wild area, battling my way through a horde of wild Pokemon with my team members awakening their latent abilities as we battle our way to be the very best there ever was. Cue the evolution montage. During our training, Po evolves into Haunter, Girahim to Berserker, Din to Salazzle, Varuta to Copperaja, and Elsa finally evolves to become a Vanillish. Oh, I thought she already was a Vanillish. Turns out, the baby form is called Vanillite. Oops. With their newfound strength, the team are now primed and ready for their battle with the Fairy Kingdom. As Fairy types are weak to steel and poison moves, we round up Girahim, Varuta, and Din, as they should be able to stomp through the opposition undeterred. For the supporting cast in this episode, we bring Baloo, Elsa, and Snapper, as they should hopefully be able to deal some hurt while taking a few hits if needed. The Fairy Gym's puzzle revolves around an audition for the role of Fairy Gym Leader, as Opal is looking to retire and she wants to find a suitable replacement. Our audition involves a quiz, and if we answer correctly we get a stat boost, and if we answer incorrectly, our stats get lowered instead. We take to the stage, and our first opponent sends out a Spritzy as we lead off with Girahim. One Ironhead obliterates the Perfume Pokemon, as Annette then sends out her Slurpuff and asks us the first question of the gym challenge. What are fairies weak to, poison or steel? Considering they're weak to both, I guess we can't get this one wrong. And by answering steel, we get a boost to our attack stat, as the Energy Ball delivers nothing more than a glancing blow, but does manage to lower our special defense. With the supercharged attack stat, Girahim rushes forward and connects with a mighty Ironhead, taking Annette's last Pokemon out of action. Trainer Teresa sends out a Swirlix, and much like last time, one single Ironhead launches the Cotton Candy Pokemon back to her Pokeball. Teresa then sends out an Aromatisse and asks us what the previous trainer was called. After telling her she was called Annette, Girahim gets a boost to his speed stat, allowing him to outspeed the Fragrance Pokemon, scoring another impressive one-hit kill. It seems like Gym Trainer Teresa's Pokemon skills are just about as good as Theresa May's Brexit negotiating skills. She tells us not to worry about right and wrong, and personally that just seems like bad advice. Theodora takes the stage next, and she sends out Phantom Ganon to whittle her team down to size. Despite some flattery, which induces a state of confusion in Girahim, he manages to fight through to connect with an Iron Head, scoring yet another one-hit KO. Theodora then sends out Gardevoir and asks what she likes for breakfast, curry or omelettes. And as great as a curry is, it's not what I would call morning food, so we go for omelettes and get a boost to our defence and special defence. Gardevoir gets to work charming our Iron Cat, lowering his attack stat, as he ends up punching himself in the face in confusion. Aware the drop in attack might prevent a one-hit KO, we swap Girahim for Snapper, as our opponent sets up Reflect to weaken our physical attacks. Gardevoir goes for another charm to weaken our mighty Rock Turtle, as Snapper gets to work, firing off a Rock Tomb to slow the Embrace Pokemon down. We use another Rock Tomb to ensure our opponent is definitely slower than us, as the Dazzling Gleam leaves Snapper hovering around half health. With Gardevoir slowed, we swap for Girahim, as Gardevoir launches a Mystical Fire. The flames crash into our Viking Pokemon and my heart sinks. Girahim dies. We might be in some trouble when we face Opal, and the chances of him surviving this Mystical Fire are slim to none. Much to my surprise, he managed to cling on with just 4 HP. With that near miss, we yeet him from the field and send out Valoo, as he will be able to tank a Dazzling Gleam or Mystical Fire with ease. Gardevoir's Reflect wears off as an Air Slash takes him below half health. The following Mystical Fire does little more than tickle Valoo, but the magical flames drain some of his power, weakening his special attack stat. Gardevoir manages to hang on from the following Air Slash, but the Blades of Wind knock him off his feet, causing a flinch, and allowing one final attack to finish up the battle. I think that last battle used up 8 of Girahim's 9 lives, and from now on, our curious cat is going to have to be extremely careful. After the battle, we quickly heal up our team and find a notepad lying on a table that lets us know both Leon and Sonia failed the gym edition. Leon failed to answer more than a single question correctly, while Sonia apparently gives up a little too easily. With that bit of information, we head into the arena to take on Opal for the Fairy Badge. Opal sends out a Galarian Weezing, as we send out Berserker. We start things off with a Fake Out, dealing little chip damage while causing our opponent to flinch. Opal then keeps up with the quiz and asks us what her nickname is, the magic user or the wizard. After correctly picking the wizard, Girahim gets a sharp increase to his speed, and that should set us up nicely to sweep poor Opal aside. As Weezing is Poison Fairy, I don't think it will have much to hurt us, unless it's packing a secret fire move like Gardevoir. As such, I use this opportunity to raise her attack stat with a couple of Hone Claws, while Weezing's Fairy Wind functions little more than a gentle breeze. This allows a single Iron Head to knock the Poison Gas Pokemon for 6. Opal then sends out her Mawile and asks us what her favourite colour is. The obvious answer here is pink, so we go for purple. After getting a defense boost, our Iron Kitty launches another Iron Head, and despite Steel clashing with Steel, we knock out the Deceiver Pokemon with one mighty blow. Opal then sends out her Togekiss, but much like the last two opponents, the Jubilee Pokemon can't stand up to our mighty Viking, and a single Iron Head leaves her concussed on the floor. Opal then sends out her final Pokemon, the almighty Alcremie. Knowing she will Gigantamax her final team member, we call for Dynamax of our own. Girahim draws in the power from her Dynamax bracelet, and lets out a mighty roar as he grows to colossal new heights. I don't think this is needed, but better safe than sorry. Opal's Alcremie then draws in Dynamax energy of its own, and emerges from its supersized Pokeball as a gigantic living cake. Truly the stuff of nightmares. Girahim launches off a Max Steel Spike, and the steel barbs strike his foe head on, crippling the giant cake, ending as a win over the 5th gym leader. Well, that was easy. Just goes to show how much easier a gym battle can be when you have a good type advantage. Normally I would end the episode here, but there's a little bit of story to come that rounds off this little section quite nicely. As we leave the gym, Opal comes out behind us to say she needs to head to Hammerlock. She wonders if we'd like to accompany her, and being the kind and gentle soul that I am, I agree. Upon arrival, we run into Bede, who asks if we're here to glow. At that, Opal spots Bede from a distance and rushes over, explaining that he is pink. Whatever that means. She then explains that Bede would make a perfect replacement for her as the fairy gym leader, and that this could be the break he needs to go over the fact that he was used by Alina to fulfill her own needs. She then whisks him off to Ballinlee, where she will put him through the same trial we just endured. Isn't that a nice way to finish up this story? Opal gets the replacement she needs to allow her to retire, and Bede gets a chance at redemption. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. If you have, it would be great if you could leave a thumbs up and comment down below with your favourite part of the episode. After all, comments really help out the channel, so please, don't be shy. Join us next week, where we'll get the chance to expand our roster some more as we head to Sir Chester, where the 6th gym leader awaits. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next week.